Okay, greetings, salutations, internet fans of podcasts, anyone that appreciates an adult beverage, as you maybe have heard before. Welcome to another episode of Cocktails and Curveballs. I'll be your host today. My name is Lee. Got a full crew today. We got Patrick, Jim, and Tyler with me. And as we always do here at Cocktails and Curveballs, we started off the same. Everybody knows giving a mad shout out and props to all of our men and women that serve in our military, foreign and domestic, past and present. Thank you guys for what you do and giving us the freedoms that we enjoy. Also to all first responders. People that have that tough job don't get paid what they should, and they are literally out there for us when we need them in a pinch. There's some crazy ass stuff going on right now. And number one, we got to hit some cocktails too. But I mean, what's been happening? Sitting here on New Year's Eve, big day, big holiday. We start a new year tomorrow. I'm sure we'll get into that too. But the stuff that's been going down with football in general, I don't care if you want to go NFL or you want to go college, is a big fiasco. But tell me what you're drinking, guys. I'll get to mine later. What I've got. But let me know somebody what you're drinking, what we want to hit first.
Yeah, I started something a little bit different New Year's Eve, of course. I hope everybody brings in the New Year safely and has a lot of fun. I'm drinking this ready to drink Long Island iced tea, pour right over ice. Pretty damn tasty. First time I've had it. It's by Captain Morgan's. It's pretty good shit. So that's what I'm sipping on right now.
Does every given liquor store around us know you by name?
Yeah, I
Asking
get
for a friend.
I find that I get judging looks, and half the time I have to, feel like I have to go in and explain, like, listen, it's not all for me. Can you just put your judging looks away for like 5 freaking minutes till I get out of the store, man?
What's in a Long Island iced tea?
Well, I don't know what's in this
Like
one. This
if
one
you
just
if you
says,
get one at the bar, I know they're
yeah,
like super strong, so that's why you get them,
super,
right? But
there's like five or six different types of. I mean, it's stupid how much alcohol is in a Long Island iced tea. This one I think is probably dumbed down a little bit, but it's pretty good tasting. It's good stuff. Mm-hmm. I wanted to, before we open up the show, Jim, we were really starting to talk about college, and I wanted to save that for the set. Let's talk about just the I don't know, the pathetic, display of football that's been going on in some of these college games, these bowl games, because of this bullshit transfer portal. Talk about that a little bit, will you, if you could, Jim?
Well, here's the thing. They open up this transfer portal is after the last regular season came, right? So these bowl games, there's a lot of stars, college stars that are preparing for the draft or preparing for their new team, whatever. They're not playing. If you're not in the top four in the college football playoffs, these guys aren't playing. They're sitting out. Like I said, in my opinion, this whole transfer portal NIL thing, dude, it's got to be refined.
Yeah,
I
agree.
The fact that it's opened up after your last regular season game, so you're not even going to play in the bowl game. All right, you're jumping to teams for NIL money, whatever. You got to remember, these guys are getting full ride scholarships,
right?
Okay, then you get your NIL money on top of that. It's got to be refined. They have to pay that scholarship back out of their NIL money. I don't know what the answer is. But what I do know is bowl games are meaningless anymore.
Especially well, they are. They're 100% they are.
And if you were listen, if anybody who doesn't agree with that take, Jim, by the way, that's a great point, and I think it will be refined. I think there was no bigger illustration, no more obvious illustration that this transfer portal, like this whole shitstorm they started, has got to be refined and improved, because now you've got, I mean, you look at Florida State, and on our service, that was bad enough, seeing how bad they got beat. I mean, it was just a joke, right? But then, I don't know if you guys did this, I did. When you look at the starters that Florida State was missing, their top two quarterbacks, their top three running backs, their top two cornerbacks in their secondary, they're missing their top three wide receiver. I mean, here's the thing is, especially with betting being so predominant in the last few years, betting has just gotten out of control. I think the sports betting, there's still people that bet on these bowl games. So now when you've got these heavy hitters that are wagering a lot of money on these bowl games, why even have the bowl games? Like you said, Jim, if you're going to be, taking an entire starting offense off the field for one team that was undefeated, by the way, that was undefeated and finished the regular season in the top 4. Now you're taking half their starting lineup out. What's the point of even having a fucking bowl game?
That's every
Do you think it's gonna?
team,
Do
though.
you
I
think
mean,
that's? Go for it, Lee.
no, I was going to say that it's no different. I mean, I can understand Marvin Harrison Jr. wanting to get out if he indeed declares for the draft. Okay.
Sure.
He wants to stay healthy. This was not for a national championship with the Buckeyes, not this go round. That one I can kind of see, but all these players that are jumping in the portal and bowls haven't even begun. And then,
Right.
like you said, guys, I mean, it's the money thing. I just think college NCAA has got to dial the shit in and control it because it's out of hand. Even Kirby Smart, after Georgia just piss pounded the Seminoles in the Orange Bowl. Biggest blowout in bowl history, 63-3.
And why?
And like you said, yeah, they had
why,
Yeah, and the Seminoles had 14 players, starters, studs. Their 2 top quarterbacks, 2 top receivers, 2 top running backs, 8 defensive stars.
Jesus.
Now, does that have something to do with their butt hurt because they didn't get the playoff? It could be. I don't know. But then this transfer portal, all of a sudden, you see these names everywhere.
Right.
It's like, what the hell? I think it's terrible. And if they don't dial this in, it's only going to get worse.
Well, it's going to be
It's
horrible for
terrible.
college football.
It's
You know what's?
terrible.
You know what? I
College
was
football.
watching one of these crappy bowl games here over the last week or so, and I don't know what game it was. I can't remember who said it, but they started talking about kind of what we're talking about with the transfer portal, and that if you play Division I football, like where if you weren't in a Power 5 conference and you weren't on your local TV deal, you weren't getting seen nationally. Like there was
Nope.
slim to none, right? So now
It's true.
he was saying though that every major college program now is being scouted. Like think of how many people
Absolutely.
transfer, right? From all over. Like, I don't know if that makes college football in just that aspect a little more like an even playing field, right? Like people don't fall through the cracks. Like you're not gonna see guys from like Division IIs or small Division I's getting drafted anymore, because by the time they're draft eligible, they're not going to be playing for those teams, right? They're going to jump to get NIL money from a bigger school, bigger
That's a good
program.
point. Yeah. Because why would they stay with a smaller Division II school when there's a bigger school saying, hey, you got a great arm, come play for us. I mean, I don't know.
The dollars and cents make all the difference. It's dollars now.
Think,
But
we talked
even
about
so, like you guys are way bigger into the FCS than I am. What's that going to start doing to teams like that, where your best player is gone? Yeah, you're not going to see. Yeah, you're not going to see 4-year guys at any school.
At Montana State, one of their stud offensive linemen, nationally ranked. I mean, he was a top 10 lineman sitting in FCS. He hit the portal as soon as their season was done.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what he's going to a big FBS school. I can't remember which. Well, I think it was Oregon.
So right there, right?
Sure,
like he's getting recruited throughout the season.
Yes.
Right? Like it doesn't happen bang, bang, the day your season's done. Oh, I'm jumping, I'm going here. Like obviously they're being recruited on some form, right?
You remember not that long ago, like if you were playing for Georgia and you wanted to transfer to Ohio State, back in the day, not that many years ago, you had to sit out for an entire season before you could suit up.
That's right.
Now, hell, you can get pissed off at your coach halfway through the season and enter the portal.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems that way. It feels like that because right now you get to the end of the season.
Well, it
or
feels
at least put it out there that you're gonna.
Mm-hmm. It feels an awful lot like Pandora's box to me. We talked about it, touched on it briefly last couple of shows, but by them opening this Pandora's box, I mean, where does it end, man? I mean, it just now, this is, hopefully not the final resting point, but now you have, again, a bowl like that happened to Georgia and Florida State, where you had an incredible team in Georgia playing a high school football team. It looked like, I mean, it wasn't even a game. And is that what you want? Is that what the NCAA wants? I feel like behind closed doors, NCAA they're scrambling like, okay, we've got to fix this, man, because we cannot be putting bowl games on national TV that look like this.
Okay, guys, let me
Go, Jim.
There's way bigger implications than this. So I'm going to use Ohio State as an example. Their top 2 recruits are wide receivers. They got the number 1 receiver in the 2024 class, and Jeremiah Smith. Okay. He's watching that bowl game where Kyle McCord entered the transfer portal. He's watching that game, and Devin Brown and every fucking bum that Ohio State rolled out there at quarterback couldn't complete a pass, knowing that Kyle McCord is gone. What are those recruits sitting there saying? Who's going
to? They can change their commitment.
Right. Yeah, they can flip that right now if they wanted to.
Right now, they can decommit and commit somewhere else.
Yeah,
and because they're sitting there going, "Who is going to throw me the football?" Number 1 receiver, the 2024 class has got to be asking himself that question.
But do you think 100%. Behind the scenes there, do you think that the coaches are like, no, dude, we're gonna get somebody in the transfer portal. Like, we're gonna get somebody. Now Ohio State, they're Ohio State. They're not gonna roll out some true freshman because that was the only quarterback in the quarterback room. Like, it's still Ohio State. But do you think
they do have a 5-star kid? He was number 5 quarterback. They do have a 5-star kid coming in. Aaron Noland is his name. But he's there you go again. What you just said, a true freshman is what he's going to be. Now, is that where you're going to roll on?
Is that where you want to be when Jesus comes back?
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
Hey, how many? Do you guys know? Do you guys know off the top of your head how many Power 5 conference teams there are? Because I would guess 60. Ish, right? Like, it's got to be
close, about 12 per.
It's got to be real close to that. So we're gonna start to see 60-ish teams just be a feeder for 32 teams. Because you're not gonna. I mean, outside of schools, maybe like an Air Force, something like. But and they obviously there's them going to the NFL is different than most other colleges, right? But people that are going to play football for an Army, a Navy, an Air Force, like, that's for a different reason than most likely.
Completely
you know
different.
What I'm saying? Like the other 6. So outside of that, like, you're gonna have 60-ish teams, 65 teams that feed the NFL, like, period.
Pretty much. You can still year in and year out.
You can still watch your Fresno States if you're a Fresno State guy, or your Boise State team go, but they're never going to compete. They're never going to compete with these top 60 teams.
It feels a lot like I don't know, different ways you can say it, like a farm system or minor leagues,
And then even below that, the teams that aren't Power 5 are just minor leagues for the fucking Power 5, right?
Yeah, it's like they can jump in that portal and move up. It's literally like the minor leagues of baseball. They got rid of the rookie class, but you got literally
all the way up to AAA.
These bigger programs are running around, and like you guys said, they're scouting these teams. They're hearing about these kids on these teams, and not the Power 5, or maybe it is an FCS, whatever. They're hearing, and they're going and they're cherry picking. These guys.
Isn't that bad for college football? Because it's like the there's still going to be. I equate it to it's like the classes: the wealthy, the middle class, and the poor. I mean, if you're in the poor and your son goes to a Montana State or U of M or one of these smaller schools, College of Idaho. He's playing football. I mean, it just sucks, man. Because that's what makes college sports. One of the things that makes college sports so exciting is sometimes you've got these really good athletes that show up at one of these smaller schools and lead them to a national championship, but not now. Because if he puts in one good year or half a good year, or even starts off like a house of fire, he's gone.
Mhm.
So it just,
You know what I found, guys? I want to ask you guys because this is my take so far of the bowl games this year. Last year was kind of like this for me, but not to this level. Some of these, like the Tampex Ultra Pure Bowl or whatever, these lesser games, they have been fantastic.
They have been.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
would
these-
definitely comment on
Yeah.
that.
Because these games, man, they're leaving it all on the field.
Yeah.
And they
Right.
know
Yeah.
if they win that bowl game, the Tampax Bowl or whatever, Depends Bowl or whatever it is, if they win that game, their school's getting money. And when
Yeah.
they go back to campus, man, their shoulders are puffed up and they're ecstatic.
Yeah.
Now these big games, opt out.
Any top
Go to
25
hell.
team is like most of these games
Jesus.
have not been good.
No.
right.
Yeah,
I know. they've
it's
been
but
horrible.
some of the lesser bowls, man, I have
Mhm.
enjoyed watching those. I turned
Yeah.
off the big bowl games. I'm like, no, I'll
Yeah.
go check out the
And
Liberty
you know what's
Bowl.
well, and what's funny is actually that's funny you said Liberty, but Liberty and Oregon play each other, right? Liberty went undefeated and Oregon's fucking good. You're like, that's not probably what Liberty wants, but is Liberty a team like that where everybody who's played all year is probably playing in this game?
Absolutely, that's what I'm talking about.
But Bo Nix said he's playing in it, so
Well, look at Utah. A few years ago, everybody was mocking Utah for going undefeated, got into a bowl game, and if I remember right, didn't Utah just spank the shit out of a bigger school? I mean, I think they beat them pretty
that was the
handily.
Alex Smith led Utah Utes, right?
Okay, right?
It
Yeah,
wasn't
I
it?
believe so.
I think.
Yeah.
I think
Well, I think
Urban Meyer.
yeah.
That was Urban Meyer and
But Utah
Whoever the
had a
fuck I
great
just said.
year, and Utah was crying because they were undefeated and they didn't get ranked in the whatever top 4 or whatever. But their strength of schedule was really low. But again, nobody knows how good they are because they don't really play any big schools. Well, they got into the bowl game and it was lights out, man. They did really well. So I don't know. I just feel like it's maybe it's good for these Power 5 schools for them. The rich get richer, but for some of these smaller schools, I think it sucks, man.
are we more excited for the 2 games on when this airs tomorrow still? The New Year's, the college football, or how is anybody
Playoffs?
I think so.
I'm
Yeah,
pumped. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this goes.
There's something serious on the line. I mean, they're playing. For
You know what's
something.
going to be
And
cool?
these
I'm
bowls have
sure-
been so shitty. Like I'm
Right.
looking
And you
forward
guys-
to games that matter.
we hit on this stuff, but so you got Texas playing UW. That's the one that I want to watch the most.
I think that's
Yeah,
gonna be a good
yes,
game.
I'm gonna watch Michigan, obviously, and I hope Michigan piss pounds the Tide. But
Yep.
Fuck
I
you.
am so into UW. I want UW to win, and I want them playing for a national championship because I want to let them have that spotlight. But there was something really cool because we talk about all these transfers and shit. Do you know how many media people went up to Arch Manning?
It
And
was
he's
crazy.
the backup.
Crazy.
And I'm talking about like, yeah, they're talking to Ewers and a few of the other players and stuff, but they had like 10 times more people asking Arch
Yeah.
Manning if he was going to transfer or whatever. And he
Mhm.
came out, he did some cool shit. And I'm sure that has to do with his lineage being a Manning.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm going to tell you right now, he goes, no, I want to play here. This is where I want to play. I'm not planning on going anywhere. And I thought that was pretty badass. I mean, because he's like, this is a school that, if I, lose my girlfriend and lose a game, that I still will be happy going here.
And I don't
So-
think he's worried about money as
I was
much
just
as,
No, no.
as much as other
2.3
people.
The $2.3 million in the NIL that Arch Manning's getting, I'm sure that doesn't play into anything, right?
Yeah.
Right, but I
Because
actually
know that
appreciate
he's
the
making
old school
more this year
approach.
than Brock Purdy is, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that sad?
That's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah. That doesn't. I mean, it is baffling, and you're talking about these bowl games that have just been horribly. If we can sit around the water cooler and talk about this, make no mistake, NCAA is taking notice, man. There's no
They have to
way.
be.
There's no way they
They
can be
have to be.
happy with how these bowls are going down, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, especially after Georgia did what they did to Florida State, and Florida State was missing like their
Oh my
entire
God, dude. That game
There's
they should have called it at half.
They should have. They really should have. NCAA.
And it wasn't Kirby Smart came out. It wasn't Georgia trying to just blow them out like that. They were a second string, third string players going
Georgia's
in there.
second and third string players are way
Raiders
better
were
than
walking
Florida
down the
State's
field.
fourth and fifth string players.
Yeah. I mean, it's basic math.
And it was
you know,
ugly.
Yeah, it's so.
All right, so
I'm
Tyler,
sure-
I see we only know what Pat's drinking. Jim, you got something good, or you going old trusty?
Nope, guys, I'm going Gatorade Zero.
Gatorade
Oh,
from
shit.
last night. Hydration from last night and what's about to happen tonight. I'm just gonna hydrate.
Have you had any of the Gator Light? Have you had that?
I've tried it. I really don't like it's kind of I don't know. I really didn't.
There's a Gator Light. I think it's a Gator Light Zero, so there's no sugar in it. And those are pretty good. There's only 2 flavors that I've ever seen, but those
Well,
are
that's the merger between Pedialyte and
Right.
Gatorade.
Gator Light, right?
Yeah.
Gator Light.
Do you
Oh,
guys have-
good
I'm
Lord.
sure you guys have. You guys have heard the story of Gatorade, right?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Florida,
Yeah,
right?
I think that's fascinating, man. It's
Made for the
Yeah,
Florida
I don't know.
Gators football team.
Yeah.
Yep.
yes, sir. Yeah.
That's cool shit.
That's-
Tyler, I imagine you're with old trusty.
Oh yeah. You guys would have been proud though. You know what? Yesterday I had a couple cocktails.
Whoa, branching
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And what was that like?
What was the poison?
I have a kid that I work with, he got us all Pendleton, everybody on our crew.
Hamilton.
Yeah,
Pendleton's
I don't
good stuff.
Pendleton.
it was
Good,
great,
good.
man. And I got some of the little cans of Diet Dr. Pepper.
Oh, hell. How'd that treat you?
Good. Good.
Too
I
good.
kept it pretty light though. No, I kept it pretty light because everybody that knows
Pendleton's a
anybody that's
great-
ever watched any of this knows that I drink beer. I'm a beer guy. Obviously, and if
You
you
and me
saw me with
both.
my shirt off, you would definitely know I am a beer
You
guy.
would understand.
You'd get it.
So,
You
hey.
wouldn't even have to ask. But no, it was good. I kept it pretty light. I think maybe, and this is for me anyway, making it a little bit more stiff, I think makes me nurse it a little bit more than if I
Makes
if I
it harder
had,
to
if
drink.
it's- Yeah, if it's too easy to drink, like I'm gonna get blackout hammered drunk.
Blackout.
I'm not
It's true.
kidding. I'm not even kidding. Like I'm not even saying that to be funny. Like that
Hey,
shit's
well,
true. I'm gonna get
it is-
fucking hammered.
It is New Year's Eve, and we've got some
It is.
huge NFL games. But I'm gonna tell you right now, all of us, and we could go through if we wanted to. We all have a story that we're thoroughly embarrassed of on a New Year's Eve. But I got to tell you something. So we got one guy on this panel that's married, and everybody else on this panel has been. Obviously everyone knows I have a fiance. I'm going to be married again, but I got something. This is some funny shit. So last podcast I told you guys. My fiance took her daughter, was in town from Texas, and took her up, and they soaked in the hot springs. Well, they went and had lunch at Bar 47, and she brought me beer back, which I thought was awesome. And I had that for their last podcast. So find out end of this week that she had left her debit card at that bar up in White Sulphur, and they put it in the safe for her and kept it. So I had to make an impromptu run yesterday, a day trip up to White Sulphur to retrieve her credit card, which obviously any good fiance, husband, partner would, I would think. So I went back to Two Bassett Brewery, and I got myself another growler, and I'm drinking this one. This is their hey man, this brewery, they named it because the owners and the master brewer there love dogs, Basset hounds. That's their thing. So they've got pictures of dogs that they've had and names and everything. So everything is like dog related, right? Which I dig because I'm a dog guy, but this one's just called Bow Wow. Bow Wow. It's an American wheat. It's a heft, got a good citrus note to it. You can see it's pretty light. I went this route because last time I finished that whole growler and I had a pretty solid buzz happening before I even got done recording with you guys. So I'm trying to take it easy because we all want to make it through the evening, right? Anybody
I
got
really
big
don't
plans?
care.
Is-
I'm not really
Other
trying to make
other
it
than
through.
home and sports and drinking. Anyone
me-
got anything they're doing?
Well, first, let me give a quick shout out. So last night, me and my girlfriend went to the Rib and Chop House in Great Falls, new restaurant. Beautiful restaurant. I mean, you
Good
can
stuff.
go in there with a jean jacket and cowboy boots, or you can go in there dressed to the nines. People of all different types. Atmosphere is beautiful. The food was amazing. I had their chicken marsala, which was just phenomenal. They have an $80 steak in there that apparently it's a 32-ounce steak, and our waiter was telling us that it's just amazing. It is, I mean, it's worth every bit of $80. I don't know if I'm ever going to be hungry enough to eat a 32-ounce steak, but anyways, anybody who's ever in Great Falls, Montana, or there's other places in Montana,
Absolutely. I've eaten at
Raven
Ribbon
Chocolate.
Shop.
I mean, great to just go have drinks or dinner, appetizers. Phenomenal place. Tonight we're going to one of the staples of Great Falls, Bory's. I know you know where that is, Lee.
Buddy.
So it's a kind of a tradition for her family. I went last year, and we're going to go and have dinner tonight. We got a reservation, drinks, and then afterwards, bring in the new year with some apple pie moonshine shots, I'm guessing, probably. So
Nothing wrong with that. Tyler, you doing anything crazy? You going to get your kids their first beers or?
The chance that I am
Wait
still
for it.
awake for the turn of the new year, slim to none, fellas. I gotta be
Dude, just
honest with
watch the
you. Ain't
recording from the
fucking
East
no way
Coast.
that's happening. Only,
Watch the recording of the ball
yep.
drop from the East Coast. Then at
We've,
9 o'clock, you can
dude,
go to bed.
I don't know if I'll be up for that, motherfucker. I have to YouTube this shit from like years past for my kids. Like, we go to bed early around these parts, and the only way is if I'm working. Guaranteed.
So,
the
have you
only
guys-
way I'm still awake when that fucking ball drops is I'm at work.
So have you guys heard that that people that are a lot wealthier than us, one of their things they do on New Year's Eve?
Are there
is-
actually people a lot wealthier than us?
Oh, like heads and shoulders, man. And one of the things they like to do, which I think it'd be kind of fun with a group of guys like us, is they get on their Learjet and they celebrate New Year's in every time zone. And
shit.
Because I'm guessing you're probably drinking on the jet and you're drinking when you land. I mean, I feel like there must be something involved to keep them awake. I'm not sure what that would be. But
It could be powder of some sort. I'm not sure, but
maybe.
One problem though, my Lear is actually getting worked on right now. Just a little engine work tune up.
Yeah.
So I can't
next
do it
New
with it.
Year's Eve. Next New Year's Eve would be a good time to do that.
Oh, my jet will be dialed in. We'll be good.
Nice.
We'll be good.
Nice.
Yeah,
Maybe.
they're putting the graphics, the Cocktails and Curveballs graphics on the Lear right now and doing a
And-
tune up. So
And so will said powder substance be made available to all attendees?
pretty sure
of the
that's what
flight?
the engine runs on, man. So yeah, there'll be an
Oh,
abundant
oh.
supply.
Outstanding. Fucking outstanding.
Well, hopefully not. Jim, you doing anything tonight? Crazy?
No, man. My age now, like I said, I won't see midnight. The other thing is
That's the
that-
hardest part, man.
The other thing
Fuck
is that it's you guys know New Year's Eve is amateur night.
Oh,
You
fuck.
know, you gotta be careful out there. You don't know who you're gonna run into, what kind of shape they're gonna be in. If it's their first New Year, their first beer, you don't know. So if I were to do anything, it'd probably just be at a house, somebody's house, or just a few of us getting together, something like that. But I won't.
bar
see
scene-
anybody.
Yeah, the bar scene seems more for the young bucks because, Buck, man, you hit the bars, you've got some guys that are hammered, just amped full of testosterone. Next thing you know, you're fucking throwing hands with somebody because
Yeah.
you
it's-
looked in the direction of a girl or something that while you're standing next to your girl or your wife or whatever, it's like, dude, seriously?
And
Step off.
also,
No, I'm
like you guys were talking about with that powder, there's a lot of shady business that goes on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
New Year's Eves can get pretty hairy.
Yeah. So maybe going out for a couple drinks and then making it back to a house party. That seems like the safest way to do things.
Yeah, it does.
Dude,
for
that's
sure.
exactly what we're doing, man. We're gonna keep it so tame. We've got NFL huge games today. Which hey, I mean, I see three of us on the panel wearing jerseys.
For this
before we get into
podcast, this
that-
is a big one.
Hey, before we get into that, let's talk about what transpired last night because
Oh my God.
right or wrong, the reffing crew is getting fucking called out on every level of social media, right? I mean, we can all agree, I think, that Dan Campbell should have taken the extra point after his team was penalized. But do we all agree that the refs dropped the ball on that fucking call? I mean,
That was
Yeah,
terrible.
they
Here's the
fucked
thing,
that.
though.
Yeah, they fucked that up.
They did. But here's what happened. The refs just came out, and I was watching this morning. The ref came out because you saw the videos all over the place. Those two linemen came up to him.
Sure.
They both, according to this ref, now maybe he's got some side deal on some betting or something, I don't know. But the ref said they both said that they were reporting eligible, which you cannot do.
That's a lie.
Now, whether that's
Lie.
true or not, I don't
Nope.
know.
It absolutely is not true, because one of the referee, the director of referees, or whatever the fuck he is, right? He came out and he says, no, that's not true. Two guys can report as eligible. Guys,
I
this
thought
is
they could.
a travesty. This is what we're dealing with. And think about the implications of Detroit.
right,
They could have had the number 1 seed.
right.
Win that
I
game.
agree.
They were playing for that. And what happens? Dallas is still in the running for the fucking number 1 seed. You know what? It's goddamn what happened. Taylor Decker, and he says, first off, there's like 3-4 different stories these referees are telling.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so
First
the
off,
last one that
they
I
said-
saw was the one I just told you, and then I was like,
Yeah,
I didn't know the rule.
Before that video came out, they said Taylor Decker didn't declare
Right.
himself.
Right.
Then the video comes out that shows him going up to the goddamn referee
Right.
Yep.
and declaring.
There's a video
And
of
now
Jared
all of a sudden,
Goff.
two guys can't declare at the same time. Another referee comes out and says, no, that's not true. They absolutely
That's
can. So now
Yeah.
what's the story?
But why aren't these guys
Well,
being? Why are there no?
The story
what-
could be
what
that
is
Dallas
so-
needed to win.
What is so
You know,
infuriating
I mean,
is-
some money.
is
Go ahead,
why
Pat.
why can't these guys be held accountable for this bullshit, man? This is why the whispers get louder and louder every year with corruption and fucking rigged games, man, because it's this. You know, imagine being a Detroit fan. Imagine being Dan Campbell. Fuck, man. I would be suspended for the last game of the year because I would fucking press conference. I'd be, and I know he knows the refereeing crew by name. They know these guys by names. I'd be calling every one of them out. Bill Wilson, you're a fucking asshole. You know, you fucking jip me out. Dude, I'd have been suspended for the last game. I'd have gone off that bad. What a fucking joke.
Something does need to be done, because especially in this situation, we can talk about the PIs at the end of games, you know, and all
God.
that
That they haven't called all game long, but last 5 seconds, let me throw this flag.
or
Yeah.
they're not called.
Yeah,
Depending
yeah,
on what
right,
team, they're not called.
right. Either
Um,
way, yep.
But either way, this is egregious, man.
Oh,
This
it's atrocious, man.
terrible.
It's just yes,
and for other referees to come and say, what
Well,
the
see, now what you're saying, though, Jimmy, what I'm getting from you is basically the referees on the entire team for that game. Now they're commenting and they're going against each other. Like they're not a cohesive
not
unit
even-
with one story. So
Yeah.
you're hearing all the shit and it makes it look even worse.
It
It's
makes
like-
it look bad. The optics
Like,
are
what the
horrible,
fuck?
guys. The optics are horrible.
yeah,
And
they
like
are.
I
And-
said,
Hey, how cool are we that we picked up that optics? I like that word.
yeah,
I
it's-
don't know. I think I don't know where it came from, but no, it's true though. It looks like shit because now if they're actually going against each other, that means that there was some refs that had this agenda maybe, and then some that had this agenda. Some of them maybe just doing their job. I don't know, but it looks terrible.
Oh, it's
Patrick
fucking
hit it.
horrible,
Patrick
man.
hit it right on the head. He hit it right on the head. Everybody that's been whispering about these rigged games and, you know, talking in ears and stuff, guys, I really don't want to believe that this is our NFL, you know, that this is happening. But I'm one of them people that don't want to believe it, but then I see this shit. And I'm like,
Yes.
wait a
yes.
minute, how does that hold up? How does somebody from New York watching the game say, whoa, wait a minute?
And there
Stop
was only
talking
one
shit.
game. It was the only game going.
Yeah.
Right. And
How
the
is
worst
somebody not on that little ear set that they all
Yeah.
have?
Yeah,
How are
going,
they not
hey,
on there saying, "Whoa, guys, stop." Yeah.
No, it counts. It counts. It
in
counts.
the last 2
They're
years,
going abort. What the fuck are you guys doing? No. It's all good. Just fucking let's just End the game. Let's everybody go home.
You know, I mean,
But there's a reality though. Dallas had lost 2 games in a row.
Who gives a fuck?
They were at home. Oh, I agree, Pat, but Jimmy Johnson got his ring finally in the Ring of
Yeah.
Honor for
Did you
Dallas
guys
and
see
all
that
that
ceremony?
shit. That was
Did you guys see that
actually really cool.
Yeah,
I did. I watched
I
it.
thought the
So
ceremony
we
was
can
pretty
get on
good.
board with all of that, but you know, so this has been happening the last couple of years that I've really been noticed, so it's really been eye opening. But the worst part about it is these type of calls keep happening at the most crucial fucking times of the game, man. I mean, are you shitting me? Detroit had that fucking game won, and referees just decided, no, we're not going to let you win it. I mean, how else can you?
Not just crucial, Pat. This is seeding in the playoffs.
Right.
I mean,
right.
the freaking Lions have clinched. They're in the playoffs.
Yeah,
now it's
but-
all about seeding. And then
Yeah.
so it looks like shit. It looks
yeah,
like shit,
yeah,
man.
It's
It's
you
like,
know what?
well,
I mean,
we don't want the
home
Lions
games,
to get the 1
Dallas-
seed and have a
Dallas-
bye.
Dallas getting home games at AT&T, right?
yeah.
Exactly.
Instead of-
Exactly.
Instead of
How
Ford
did
Field.
you guys like Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson last
Jimmy,
night?
that-
Though, looking
hey.
at each other, it looked like it looked straight out of WWE. I thought somebody was gonna get fucking hit with a chair, dude.
I was hoping. I was hoping that would
okay,
happen.
This is
I would've-
Listen,
I would've
making
loved to see
everybody's eyes. Their eyes were like welling up and shit, but you're like, I don't.
Yep.
How do these guys don't like each other, right? Like
They don't
Oh,
fucking
they-
like
it was
each other
like
at
a
all.
respect, like a
That's why. That's
fuck
why
you,
Jimmy
I hate
Johnson
it.
basically. Why Jimmy Johnson told fucking Jerry Jones to go fuck himself. I mean, he came to Miami, man. He's like, "Fuck you, man." Jerry Jones. That's every Dallas fan.
Jerry
might be a
Jones is
diehard-
Al Davis. The
You
same
might
thing.
be a diehard Dallas fan, but every Dallas fan has the same story. Fuck Jerry Jones, man.
My
I mean,
fiance,
because-
I
diehard.
think
She
Jerry
hates
Jones
Jerry
says
Jones.
fuck everybody else. Like
Well,
I
you
don't,
can
I
do it
don't
when
think
you're a
Jerry
billionaire.
Jones gives a fuck
Hey.
if people don't
Yeah,
like.
I'm sure. Well, if you're a billionaire, you don't. But the bottom line is, you know what? This is why Pittsburgh and Baltimore's and the San Francisco's and the these teams that are successful every year is because you have an owner that just hires his football people and stays the fuck out of the way, man. Just let
What
your
I'm getting
football
at.
people
Listen.
run the fucking show. What
So-
the fuck is Jerry Jones doing down on the sidelines calling plays? Get the fuck out of here, man. You're the owner.
So
Last
much
night,
money
dude.
because he's got so much. He's
Yeah,
just
Yes.
like, I don't give a
So
fuck.
last
Look,
night,
I'll
this
be
is
the
true.
offensive
Listen.
coordinator, bitch.
Jesus, no
Last
shit. And
night,
he thinks
You know what
he
I
is.
mean?
He thinks he
That
fucking
would
is.
be cool.
Patrick.
That would be cool to have that much
97
money.
years old, fucking calling plays for the Dallas Cowboys. Can you fuck off, please? Thank you.
Listen though, last night Jimmy hit this because even Cowboys fans hate Jerry Jones. My fiance is a diehard, and how she became a Dallas fan is the run in the 90s. And out there you had Aikman, Emmett, Irvin, Woodson. You had all of these guys that she has gone through her football fandom with, has never, ever liked Jerry Jones. Even diehard Cowboys fans hate fucking Jerry Jones. Jerry
Okay,
Jones and Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson was my guy because he coached the Hurricanes and won national championships. That's why I liked him. So I followed him, not because he was a Cowboys coach, but
So
because he won.
Wait a second. You're going to mention all those names and step right over Herschel Walker, who brought all those names to Dallas?
Herschel Walker's the only reason Jimmy Johnson took the job.
I mean,
He made
listen,
that deal with Minnesota and raped the entire state. Hell,
Like,
he raped the
so
entire
it turned
northern
into-
hemisphere of the country.
the last count I saw was Herschel Walker brought Dallas 9 Pro Bowlers. 9.
And 3 Hall of
9 Pro
Famers.
Bowlers.
And 3 Hall of Famers. Yep.
Jesus
That's a fact.
Christ. Herschel
Guys-
Walker. And he did
But-
nothing but go to Minnesota.
But it
and
was
have-
if there could have been like a ding ding and The Rock came out or Stone Cold came out and said, "All right, Jerry, there's your corner, Jimmy."
Jesus.
Because
You know,
they
that's
actually hate each
fucking
other, but they
borderline when
played
you look-
nice.
Yeah.
Right.
It looked exactly like that. Like they're just playing nice and looking.
Yeah,
and
it looked
smiling
like
at
some
each other.
fire was gonna
Mm.
shoot up behind him or something.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, like, I
smoking.
thought a sledgehammer was coming out.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'd be down with that. Absolutely.
I think Jimmy would be more like Bret Hart. And the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. I think he would be more Jim. He would be that. He would be Bret Hart. Because Jerry's just sitting back there like the fat bastard that he is. Who's he? I don't know. Andre the Giant, maybe, because he's got all that money. Doesn't matter.
Does
Listen,
anybody
guys,
else
I'm
feel?
gonna play devil's advocate here real quick. Here's
You
the,
like to do that.
here's the difference
You do advocate the devil a lot.
between
Yeah, you
Kinda.
here's the difference between Jerry Jones and say an Al Davis or whatever. Jerry Jones is a football guy. I don't give a shit what I can't stand him. Can't stand listening to him. But he's a football guy. And his interest in it's the Dallas Cowboys.
It's the Dallas Cowboys, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's it.
Like
That's it.
I'm sure, right? Like exact, just building on what you're saying, like that. I'm sure he has so much money. He's got money in other places. Doesn't care about his money. He's Dallas Cowboys. That's it. Like Mark Cuban, right? Just some sort of a parallel. Mark Cuban, basketball guy, but has his hands in a lot of other things,
real estate,
yeah, tons of other shit.
Shark
I don't think anybody doubts that Jerry Jones has a big star on his bed sheets. There's no fucking doubt in my mind, man. Like
that's kind of the difference.
He makes fucking Dallas Cowboys.
You know,
yes, absolutely.
Al Davis with his fucking rings and all of his bling shit, you know, necklaces and everything. You see Jerry Jones, dude, he's in a 3-piece suit.
Yeah.
You know, he's just the difference with me. And again, I'm not a fan. I can't stand and listen to this motherfucker talk. I don't like him.
Jerry Jones.
Yeah, I do respect the fact that his team is it for him. He is diehard.
Yeah,
Dallas
I can respect
Cowboy,
it for sure.
and I respect that because his decisions outside of the Jimmy Johnson decision, his decisions he believes are purely Dallas Cowboys.
Best for the Cowboys.
Best interest for the team. And let me just say one thing about Dallas fans, and I'm going to go out on a limb. I might be a little off base, but I don't think I am. So as much as Dallas fans just every fucking year complain about Dak Prescott, I want to be clear about something. There's 25 teams that Dak would be a fucking day one starter for. I mean, listen,
more than that.
You guys pissing more about Dak Prescott, and in a way, I get it, but there's 25 fucking teams right now he would fucking start for. So you're not going to get any sympathy from me about whining about Dak, man. I think I like Dak. I think that there's times where, you know, he doesn't, you know, he head scratching some of the plays or throws he makes, but it's a guy that, you know, is better than, I mean, he's top 10, easy top 10.
Hey, you want to talk head scratching? What the fuck are the Broncos doing?
Oh my God.
Oh, they had to. They're gonna cut him.
Dude, they owe him. If they cut him, they're gonna owe him like 85. 60. I saw. It's like 85, right?
And how many teams would pick him up like immediately? Fucking immediately.
20
teams right now.
I bet
would take him because they could get him cheap.
No, but cheaper. That's dead. But that's dead money. Like
dead money. See, the problem
they're fucked. They're fucked for the next couple years.
We talked about this, but where Broncos fucked up is they gave up so much for Denver that when he got there, the cupboards are bare.
Wilson,
Like, the cupboards are fucking bare. He's playing with 10 guys from accounting. And now you're going to put this on a guy making $30 million a year. That's not fair, man. That's not fair. Because if you give this guy, Sean
Payton this is Sean Payton's behind all this, guys. He wants give him till year 3. I'm telling you, this guy's a winner. He's a great coach. You give him to year 3, and I don't think he believes in Russell Wilson.
It's going to take more than year 3. I think they are fucked with the Cowboys.
See what happens
for the next couple years.
This started, and from being close to the Denver area, this started, and of course the rumors. You know, there's a lot of more rumors than truths, obviously, speculation, shit like that. But this started right from the get-go. Sean Payton walked into the building, kicked all of Russell Wilson's people out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
His nutritionalist, his personal trainer, all that shit said, nope, you got to go. Russ Inc., you got to go. That was immediate.
Yeah. Right.
This started from day one. I don't think Russell Wilson was ever Sean Payton's guy.
Which is crazy that Sean Payton came out of retirement to take this job.
But why did they trade?
But to say no, Russell Wilson's not my guy. We're gonna cut him. We're gonna burn $85 million fucking dollars, and we lost all these picks. So now we're not picking like.
Fuck.
I don't know why. What's Sean Payton doing?
But here's the worst part is that you've depleted, like, they don't have any draft
They don't have
capital,
assets, right? Like they don't have assets.
So, I
Nothing.
mean, it would be better served by, leading up to preseason next year to dangle Russell Wilson. I bet you right now there'd still be a team to give up a second and a third for Russell Wilson. He
So,
might even
Guaranteed.
They're
mean,
saving
somebody
money.
Guaranteed.
They're
somebody might
saving
be
money
doing
by
it.
him staying healthy. See, that's why.
That's
they're-
exactly why they're doing it. That's why he's
business.
sitting.
That's right.
Because
If
his
he passes
contract.
his vehicle, if he gets hurt these last 2 games, they owe him more
Right.
Yep.
by March.
That was
And they
yeah,
were
that
all
came
looking
out. I
healthy.
saw that.
Well, that's
I don't know.
crazy.
I'm a Russell Wilson fan. I like him. I think he's gotten a raw fucking deal. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Much like Baker Mayfield, how much would fucking, and okay, you can sit there and brag about Flacco, and he's had a decent run, but the Browns have gotten nothing from the quarterback position all year long. Baker Mayfield is right on the cusp of signing a 4-year big fucking deal for Tampa Bay, and good for him, man. But again, everything that the Browns gave up for Watson and what Baker Mayfield's doing right now, you're looking at Baker Mayfield would have the Browns right there with the fucking Ravens and the Dolphins if they just kept him, and they'd have 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks. I mean, I love seeing. I said to everybody, I said, you know what, Baker Mayfield, the second he leaves Cleveland, watch this guy, man. He's a good quarterback. And you know what, Russell Wilson, Denver fucked that up. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. He could walk into almost any team and throw up a Pro Bowl year, fucking right now.
So, guys, this is something I want to just get your opinion on real quick because I know we're running out of time. But the celebrity shit. So Russell Wilson marries Sierra, a
Right.
celebrity in her own right, in her own world. She's a
Sure.
celebrity. It seems to me, and I don't want to, but when all this outside distractions going on, all right, Russell Wilson and Sierra don't they have a clothing line? They've
I think
got
so.
just all this and that and everything else. Football
Yeah.
all of a sudden becomes,
Secondary.
or these other distractions make football almost secondary. It's now your business, blah, 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 blah. Does the downfall, the downswing, I should say, because I like Russell Wilson, but the downswing in his performance and everything, because let's face it, guys, he's not the same Russell Wilson he was 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Is he playing himself out of the Hall? Do you think he's playing
Well, that's
himself
a
out
tough
of the
one.
Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so he might not be the same quarterback, but he was having a really good year in Denver he was at one point in time, his stats were right there amongst the top of the league. And I don't know if
His stats, oh, by the way, just in case you haven't noticed, his stats before he got benched were better than Mahomes.
They were
Okay,
very
Other
comparable.
than less
Very
yards.
comparable.
Other than
So
less
there you go.
yards.
there
Less
you go.
interceptions.
And-
I'm telling you.
And can we also agree that fame never fucked with Tom Brady? I mean,
There you
I
go.
mean,
But-
we're talking
Well,
Giselle, though,
that's-
bro. I mean,
No.
come on, that's Giselle.
You can't compare nothing to Tom Brady. I mean, like,
But my point to this is that now we're seeing Travis Kelce.
I know. I knew you were going there with this. I knew it. And
Taylor
also,
Swift.
Taylor Swift is way a bigger personality than Sierra's entire
Of course.
career. But
So,
I'm
I
just
had no
like
dog in the fight.
that's a whole
I had
fucking
no-
different stratosphere of being famous.
okay, fair. But I had no dog in the fight with Kelsey. I appreciated his greatness. I didn't like him. I didn't dislike him until he stood for the national anthem every fucking game. This is a guy who used to stand for the national anthem. The second he started dating that fucking cancer, now he fucking kneels. Fuck you, Kelsey. I'm no longer a Kelsey fan. He can go fuck himself.
His brother's cool. Jason Kelsey's cool.
Of course.
Jason Kelsey's badass. I think
But-
Jason Kelsey should be. We should get him for a five.
And now you got.
Can
now
we
you got
reach out?
Travis
Can we
Kelce.
reach out to his people?
Now you got Travis
I'll DM
Kelce
him.
advertising. He's advertising the COVID shot, Mr. Pfizer.
Yeah,
I'm not
Mr.
going to get
Pfizer,
political.
yeah.
I'm not going to touch that. But the bottom line is is that this shit all seemed to start going down the second he started dating this. Listen,
Okay,
don't,
can we all as men, we all identify as men here, at least
good time.
identify with the fact that women do rule the world. In
They
a
got-
very
they got-
small, oh, come on,
Well,
buddy.
wait a
You
second,
know
wait a
for a
second.
fact they can shut us down in a second.
Hey, can I just say they got all the pussy and half the money? I mean, that's the reason why they
Oh, God.
I fucking
mean,
Well,
it's-
we'll leave that one out of cocktails and curveballs.
is that true? Wait a second.
Dude,
That's
I,
true,
yeah,
right? I mean,
I've never
it's-
heard that. I'd never heard that until just right now, but
I mean, but
it's
it makes
true.
sense.
But yeah, it makes total sense to
It's very
me.
true.
Wait, was that
Very
was that
true.
a fact? I feel like that's a fact. I mean, I feel like
Well,
you can Google that. I mean,
yeah.
Now they do, and they definitely have half the money for sure. But
I,
yeah,
maybe
but
I should-
seriously,
Hey, I
So the
apologize
Swift
to my
thing,
crowd.
most-
I did,
yes,
you know,
yeah.
No,
But
I think that makes total
most guys
sense.
think about this. So anybody that has dated this, what's her name? Swift, Taylor Swift.
What's
She
her name,
either-
motherfucker? Like you don't know who
she-
Taylor Swift is.
She either completely destroys them or writes a song about them or whatever. And
Oh,
then
that's
this
coming.
one,
That's coming. That song's
but
coming.
the NFL is loving this because she is so huge. She is
Oh,
a ginormous star.
Yeah.
And that brings
I'll
more
tell you
ratings
what.
and views to the NFL.
I'll tell you what, the speculation right now is that's why Al Michaels won't be doing any of the playoff games.
Wow.
Really?
He refuses to acknowledge little Miss Swift up in the box and shit like that, basically
It's
saying
true.
this is football. Why are we not showing football?
Hey, so you guys know they moved in together, right? Like they're living together now.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
pay
I
any
didn't know that.
attention. Good for them.
That's what they said.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. All
Yeah,
right,
I
guys.
don't
Hey,
give a
we should
fuck.
actually, because we've got, I mean, I know we've got Patrick and I in a Dolphins jersey and Tyler, what jersey is that? Oh, he a Ravens fan.
The MVP, the soon to be, no
Let's-
bullshit. I would
let's
two
just
time.
pump our brakes. Let's just pump our brakes.
Listen,
a little bit.
If the Ravens do what, no offense, they probably should because literally
I'm not
honestly, the
offended
people
by
that the
that.
Dolphins, no, the people that the Dolphins are not going to have.
Oh,
if the
fuck.
Ravens-
I don't even want to fuck.
If the Ravens win out, no, if the Ravens win out, he's the MVP. If they
Yeah.
run away with this game,
Well, I think
he's
he
the
can still
MVP.
win. I mean, he's
If he-
right there.
oh, he still
He's
can
right there.
1,000%.
Lamar Jackson, and
I
he's
think
right.
he's
Listen,
leading it right now.
our
too.
defensive coordinator came out and said, there's never been a truer statement said. Lamar Jackson is the hardest player in the NFL to game plan for. He really is,
big
man.
time.
I mean,
And their
I
that
have no
team
problem
in general,
acknowledging any of that.
their
And
defense is good. The Ravens defense is back to being like a fucking top
Fucking
tier
s-
defense.
yeah, well,
and then,
guaranteed.
and then if you have Lamar Jackson just making enough plays to get Justin Tucker close enough to fucking boot a
Yeah.
few through, and their
Yeah.
defense plays good.
Yeah,
I mean,
Lamar
like, that,
Jackson
but
can move around and
Yeah.
have a busted play that ends up going for 60 fucking
Like,
yards.
not even a
He's
how-
scary.
like 5 possible sacks, but they turn into a 40-yard gain, right?
Hey, this
the
is gonna
only
be
dude
bigger.
the only dude that could tackle him last week against San Francisco was the ref.
Right.
And he fell down and tripped him because he was looking at Lamar Jackson's back and didn't know which way to go
Safety.
and fell down, and Lamar Jackson
Right.
tripped him.
His face, the ref's face when he was going
Yeah.
down was classic. It was cool.
Yeah, dude.
me
Like,
what
it
you
felt
gonna say.
bad.
Big injury from the Ravens that could make that could be significant. Kyle Hamilton.
Kyle Hamilton is turning into a top 5 safety in the league.
Absolutely.
Very
And
quickly.
If he's not playing, which I don't think he is, I think he's out this
Well,
week. If he's not
well,
playing,
Didn't know that.
Miami's got some big
But
injuries.
Geno Stone leads the league or is right at the top in interceptions. Marcus Williams they signed him to a big deal. Like they're safe between I would argue that the Ravens have the best safety room maybe in the league with Marcus Williams, Geno Stone, and Kyle Hamilton.
Miami's
here's what I
goddamn
think.
close.
So I think it's gonna be a relatively low scoring game. I think both defenses are stout. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to run against either team. There's no science to what I'm getting ready to say, and I could very well be wrong. Okay, but I called, when a lot of people thought that San Francisco was going to take Baltimore to task. I said San Francisco was due for a bad game. So I felt Ravens were going to go in there and win that game. Not like that, but I figured they'd win. San Francisco went out and fucking Brock Purdy throws 3 interceptions the first half.
Four.
They have a whole game.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying Baltimore's going to play that poorly, but Baltimore is on like a 7-week run where they are playing phenomenal fucking football.
And
They're
they've
so
been playing
physical.
top competition. They've been playing their strength of
and-
schedule has been
and-
rough this year.
And let me just say this. I think the only way Miami wins is for Baltimore to have a bad game. Because if they're both playing well, Baltimore wins that game. But
Baltimore is so physical.
Baltimore's going to throw up a clunker. I just have a feeling that Baltimore is going to not play well, and Miami's going to pull out, 27-23, 23-20. I think it's going to be a tight game, but it's going to take Baltimore having a bad game. If they're playing, if they're balling, it's going to be a long day for Miami, I think.
I'm
They're just so-
50-50.
both sides of the ball. The Ravens are so physical.
They're good.
Beat the shit out of
You're
the
not going to
Niners.
get an argument from me, man. I get it. They're tough.
You know what the tough part is like literally like if you look at Miami's defense beginning of the season, we were abysmal. We were shit.
Oh,
we
fuck,
couldn't stop
yeah,
anybody.
yeah.
We just outscored people.
Yep.
Now we're a top 10 defense
Oh yeah.
second half of the season. But again, injuries and everything else, this one's going to be tough because Lamar Jackson is that elusive. And I think last year for Lamar was kind of a shit year because he was fighting with management, pissed off about his contract. He wanted to get paid. Well, guess what? He got paid. This year, that motherfucker's dialed in. I think he is easily the MVP, unless he completely goes out and throws 18 interceptions in the next 2 games. And
Well, listen,
And
I
I
think
was
he
I
is.
was I was as on the fence as anybody. Like it's documented about bringing him back for the kind of money that he got. You guys heard it from me, and I'm
But-
wearing the motherfucker's jersey. That like,
but
yeah,
you guys
I don't know, but for the team to go, no, dude, here's the money. Like, go do what you do.
So
And he did.
It seems he does.
So-
Yeah, he's great.
Colin Cowherd made a really good point. I don't know if you guys followed it, but we're talking about the MVP, right? And how everybody, was just enamored with Jackson, and he's awesome. I like Lamar, man, and he's a guy that could be MVP candidate every year, except this year. He's what did he win it last year or won it 2 years ago?
No, he won it a couple years ago. He was unanimous.
So
Like
that
in,
year that
say,
he
4
won it,
years ago.
he was responsible for something like 76% of the touchdowns scored. 76. And that's been
he
the
ran a
basic-
lot more.
If you go back 10 or 12 years, the MVP has been responsible right around 76, 77, 78. When Mahomes wanted to do 77, right around 76, 77% of the touchdowns scored. This
They had
year,
their hands on.
there's 2 guys that are above Jackson the percentage. Jackson's around 67. You can fact check me on this. He's around 67 this year. Both Brock Purdy, Tua, and I think there's maybe one other guy, I think it's Dak, are responsible for up around 75, 76, 77% of the touchdowns scored.
Tua can't be. Mostert.
He is.
Are you sure? Mostert
He
scored
is.
a lot of fucking touchdowns.
Well, he scored a lot of touchdowns, but he's been throwing a lot of touchdowns by Tua.
Oh, okay.
So
He does have receiving touchdowns.
Yeah.
receiving.
All right,
So
There's an argument. There's an argument going on right now about the MVP award. Anyway, guys, I think we should just start calling it
Yeah.
the
The
MVP,
best quarterback.
yeah,
the
yeah.
MVP, You know,
Yeah.
And I understand it's the most important position in football. I do, but you got McCaffrey out there. You got
McCaffrey.
Freak out there that are
Yeah,
going to put up
absolutely.
historic numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
this year.
agreed.
And you got these guys out there, and so I don't know whether they got to make another non-quarterback award,
Yeah.
or what.
I think
there is
they
an
should.
offensive
It's
player
going to
of the
be
year,
about
right?
the quarterback, huh?
There's an offensive player of the year. Am I right?
Well, there is. There's an offensive player of the year. There's a defensive player of the year.
Sure.
You
But
know,
it's
so
not MVP. MVP is it's one.
right.
I got to tell you guys right now, I'm a little torn on Why isn't Christian McCaffrey talked about?
I agree with that.
He is,
Yeah.
but what he is doing
I'd
this
see
year
that.
Yeah.
is unbelievable.
Guys, I saw
Kyrie.
a stat. I saw a stat for you fantasy football players. I saw a stat, and I don't know because I haven't, but that 54 point something percent of people leading in their fantasy football leagues all have Christian McCaffrey on their roster.
There you go.
And
There you
I was
go.
just like, holy shit. All right, guys, we
I-
got to wrap this up, get
Yeah.
to some curtain calls, and then get ourselves to some football. So who wants to get us started on some curtain calls? We'll wrap this baby up.
I'd like to start with Dan Campbell, Coach Campbell.
Yes, sir. That's a good
Super
one.
classy, super classy yesterday. He could have, and you guys all know, anybody out there listening knows Dan Campbell and the fire that's in that man, and great coach. Enjoy watching him coach. You can just tell how his players respond to him, and he could have lost his shit yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was a
and he-
class act.
He basically they asked him, they were asking him the tough questions, and he just said, "Hey, listen, we lost."
Yeah. I've always liked Dan Campbell, man. I've
So,
always liked
my curtain call, my shout out goes to Coach Campbell. Stay classy, bud. Your team will do nothing but get better, and they have got better. So, Coach Campbell, cheers.
Cheers. I dig that.
Here's
Cowboys might be one of the least liked team for me. No offense to any of their fans. I just not a Cowboys fan. Never been. Never really cared for him. But man, CeeDee Lamb, good God, man. Listen, CeeDee Lamb is a fucking beast. He's been a beast this year. He broke Michael Irvin's reception record last night. Goes out and throws up a 227, 230-yard game. Dude is just electric. And you know a guy has arrived when the other team is aware of who he is and who he's become, and they can't do anything to stop him. I mean, Cowboys don't have a ton of weapons. They've got a few. I don't know whatever happened to Cooks. Brandon, wasn't it just so long ago that Cooks was one of the best receivers in the league?
well, he's like a perennial
Is.
1,000-yard guy, but I think he's had,
1,000-yard
he's-
receiver.
I mean,
Every year.
I think
Did
he's,
they even call his name last night? I mean,
Yes.
it's hard. to
Yes, they
believe that-
did.
yeah, I think he scored a touchdown.
He
Did
did.
he? Okay,
He did
well,
score a
I think,
touchdown,
and he
yeah.
scored one last week too.
I don't feel like he's had. I don't know. Anyways, I thought Cooks, man. So they do have some other talent, but it's CeeDee Lamb and the rest of the crew, man. Right. So and Detroit knew that, and you can't. I'm sure Dan Campbell game planned for him, and all he does is go out and catch 13 balls for 230 yards. I mean, this guy.
The fun
Good guy.
part, though, Pat, I will tell you, I appreciate that because he is a stud. But
He
there
is.
is a busted play that should have been a sack for a safety that turned into a 92-yard touchdown reception by CeeDee Lamb.
Sure. Of course.
And that
right.
was now I will also give Dak Prescott, as we talked before, all
Sure.
the credit in the world because from his back foot, he hooked that thing 60 yards. And I
Right.
was like, okay. So, you know what? Campbell, I think, had the right game plan, but CD is a special talent.
He's a
And
ride. He's good.
after the loss to Miami, he started off getting the ball and then they went away from him and lost.
Well, that
He was very
different.
vocal. There's a little cry sacking though, too, though. So they were going to target him for sure. But no, he's a stud for sure.
Yeah, he's good.
What about you, Tyler? You got a curtain call for us too?
Yeah, just one real quick stat that I saw that was crazy that it seems almost unreal was that Larry Fitzgerald in a 17-year career had 41 tackles and only 28 drop passes. He had more tackles than drop passes as one of the
That's
greatest
badass.
receivers of all time.
That guy,
That is
man.
badass.
That's pretty wild, right? Like that's
People forget how good he was, man. It's just like
You know why they forget how good he was? Because he wasn't one of these diva receivers, man. He
I
just
agree.
went out, put his work boots on every day, and went
Yeah.
out to his job.
blocked
Yeah.
like an
Fitzgerald.
animal.
and he was a big guy. Am I right?
Yeah,
was he like
big dude.
6'6"? He was a big dude, right?
Yeah.
Very-
So that was just a
Absolutely.
real quick stat I had. My actual curtain call goes out to January Joe Flacco. We talked about him a little bit, but
Yeah.
dude,
Against the Jets.
for a guy that bet on himself in Baltimore,
Yeah.
crippled the franchise for a few years because of the contract he signed. Shit to bed, kind of. Never been to a Pro Bowl. Has what, 5 straight games of 300+ yards?
Yeah.
Oh, he's looking like a stud.
Multiple touchdowns, and
he was just sitting
that
home with
fucking
his
Cleveland
kids,
Browns team is, I don't know. Teams don't want to see them in the playoffs, I don't think.
No, I
Their
don't think
defense,
so.
Myles Garrett can absolutely wreck a game. So
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they're gonna be tough. They're the one a footnote on that. The only one thing I don't care about Joe Flacco, I don't know if you guys knew this, but when they drafted Lamar Jackson, Joe Flacco said, "I'm nobody's mentor." They wanted him to mentor Jackson, and I just thought it was really shitty, man. It's like, dude, so what makes you better than any other quarterback that's getting ready to lose their job? You're going to be a douche and say, "Oh, I'm not going to mentor this guy."
he didn't even make it a full season with Lamar Jackson sitting on the bench. Didn't make it a full season. They were like,
all right, okay,
nah,
guys, real quick. I got one quick curtain call. This one's actually this one's personal to me. So we always give props to our first responders. Today, New Year's Eve, is my firstborn, oldest son's birthday, Logan Jace. If you see this, buddy, and I know you will, happy freaking birthday. Thank you for your service and what you're doing as a deputy sheriff. Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely.
Everybody, let's get on to some football. And Tyler, I don't want to have a bunch of bad texts if, the Dolphins kick your ass, or
I don't want to
versa.
see shit. I don't want to see shit from you two about if it's going bad, about how bad the fucking Dolphins are and everybody's hurt. Or if they do fucking or if they do start winning. I called that one too. I called them beating Baltimore by 10.
Real quick, guys, so we can throw this out there. Just in case anybody out there, if you enjoy what we're doing, you can find us all over the place, but we got to call it out. So you can find us on Instagram and on Facebook. You can email us at cocktailsandcurveballs@gmail.com. But go check us out on YouTube, Cocktails and Curveballs, or check us out on Spotify. You're cruising around, you want to hear something fun, hang out with us. Let's do it. We're coming on to a new year, boys. Good things going to happen. So I want everybody to be safe. And like Jimmy would say, use your Ubers and your taxi cab drivers and be smart. Yeah. But cheers to everybody out there, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Cheers.
Happy New Year's. Go Red.